Hello. Today we're going to demonstrate how third-party quoting is done on CloudSense. Our use case for this demonstration is providing an SD-WAN solution to our customer, TT Finance, where part of the solution requires components that we cannot provide. So we need to collaborate with a third-party vendor in order to cost and provide these components so we can provision the products and services successfully to the customer. We start the demonstration in the role of a sales user and go into solution management. As we do so, we need to select the relevant solution from our catalog. In this case, an SD-WAN solution. Let's fix the main attributes, the contact term and the brand of component we require as part of the solution. And if we expand the pricing summary here, we can see how this affects the price as we configure and complete our solution. So we've got two components here. We've got the hardware and we've got some tenancy options. The tenancy part doesn't require any third-party collaboration, but you can see here we can select different types of tenancy which drives different pricing, which all rolls up into our overall SD-WAN price. But what we're more concerned about is adding our hardware. So let's add a CPE component. The contract term defaults through from the main component and we can select our hardware model. Let's go for an Edge 510 device. As we do this, our CPE component is updated in real time by the advanced pricing service. So you can see here we've got a one-off charge of $800, we've got a delivery charge, and we've got a recurring charge. Non-commercial data can be entered at this stage if we know it, or it can be entered later on. But let's say we do not know it, so we let the solution team go and find that out so they can enter it at a later stage in the journey. For now, this device needs some external components, so let's go and configure the bill of materials for it. We go into our third-party quoting enrichment console, click Add, select the third-party organization, in this case it's Netmarks, and enter the country, Australia. We'll come back to these attributes a little later for managing margins and discounting and see how that drives our total price. What we want to do now is manage the bill of materials. We click on Manage BOM, and this bill of materials has been imported from data given to us by the external vendor and stored within CloudSense. If we didn't have this data, we would be able to enter it manually. As you can see here, we can enter additional bill of material items, for example, an ad hoc adapter. We can give it a bill of material code, specify the quantity, and add price and discount values. We can also remove line items if some of them aren't relevant. For example, if the customer doesn't want a wall mount kit, we can easily delete that from our BOM. So we've finished configuring our bill of materials and can just save it here. Doing that provides us with the unit price, or the cost to us as a business. What we might want to do now is add a margin of 10% and not apply a discount. Then the total price to the customer will be increased from the unit price to give us a total price of $1,358.03, which includes the 10% margin. The next thing we do is send an email out to our vendor, Netmarks, who will see that we have removed one line item and added an additional item, as shown earlier, and they will need to review and approve the changes. So note the price of $1,358.03. If we come out of the enrichment console, back into the solution and hover over Edge 510, we can see that a one-off charge has been added to our solution at the bottom, which represents the bill of materials charges that have been passed on to us from the external vendor, along with the 10% margin that we added ourselves. So the third-party configuration is complete and signed off by the vendor. Now we would run through any additional steps in the process before closing the opportunity and submitting the order into CloudSense.com. And that concludes the third-party quoting demonstration.